Welcome to the Midnight List. Tonight we're going to be reviewing Japan's forgotten hero car, the Mitsubishi GTO. It was also known in America as the 3000 GT, and they had a rebadged version called the Dodge Stealth. Gran Turismo 1 brought cars like the Nissan GTR, the Impreza STI, and the Lancer Evolution into the attention of Americans for the first time. I was one of the few that didn't actually pick up on it and played through most of the game using the Mitsubishi GTO, or 3000 GT. This car was extremely high-tech for its day. It had options that we're just now seeing on some modern cars, such as active aerodynamics, adaptive suspension, tunable exhaust notes, and four-wheel steering. The vehicle also had a twin-turbo system and optional all-wheel drive. When it didn't have all-wheel drive, it was a front-wheel drive vehicle, and I think that might have been part of the reason it wasn't as popular as vehicles like the NSX or the Skyline. Unfortunately, as the car aged, many of these options would fail. It was not uncommon for owners to simply disconnect them or replace them with simpler components due to the expense of the repairs. Although the car did have four-wheel steering in real life, the four-wheel steering controller isn't one of the options that could be installed in the game. The GTO was manufactured between 1990 and 2000 and had two facelifts along the way. In 1994, they changed the front end and got rid of the pop-up headlights to accommodate safety standards that had changed at the time. The second generation also got rid of the tunable exhaust system in 1995 and lost the active aerodynamics in 1996. Although customers lost a few options with the second generation GTO, Mitsubishi added in the option of a power retractable hardtop that was being installed by American specialty cars. This option had not been available since the 1959 Ford Skyliner. Let's go ahead and see where the car lands on the list. With the current setup, the car was able to break 210 miles an hour on the front stretch. I'll have the setup at the end of the video if you want to copy it. The GTO was a heavy car for its day, and is even heavier than the R32 GTR, which was also considered heavy. With both cars fully modified, the GTO is 127 pounds heavier than the Skyline. Also like the Skyline, the GTO feels very planted in the corners, and the all-wheel drive system will pull you out of trouble. The current torque setup on this one has 45 to the front and 55 to the rear. It makes the car slightly feel like a front-wheel drive car as it's losing grip. You could shift this using the torque vectoring system. At the end of 3 laps, the front tires were about 33% worn, and the rears were about 20%. The car should make it 5 laps before it needs to refuel. The car is very fun to drive and is also very forgiving. It's a great choice for anyone that wants something other than a Skyline. Since the technology reliability wasn't part of the game, I kind of get the feeling this car gets overlooked because it never had that forbidden fruit draw that the Impreza STI, Lancer Evolution, and Skyline GTR brought to the table. This car is just always something that we had access to. Let me know in the comments below if you think it's something similar or if there's something I'm missing. Although the GTO does have the weight penalty that we discussed earlier when comparing against the R32, and also is a little bit lower in horsepower, the performance points are about 30 points lower as well. So that gives the car a little bit of wiggle room when trying to set it up for specific races. Let's see how it finishes. Looks like it was a 157.657, which actually puts it just a tenth behind the GTR. So it really is a great option, especially if you want to be a little bit different on the track. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if there's any cars that you want to see in the list. I will be working on some of the newly released vehicles from the 1.28 update, so be on the lookout for that. And here's a quick shot of the setup if you want to try to copy it down. Again, thank you so much and have a great night.